On our 19th year of marriage, my wife disappeared from a company gala, and I found her in another man's arms.
My name is Jackson Hale. For 19 years, I thought my life was perfect. I had a thriving furniture business, a beautiful home in the Boulder foothills, and a family I adored. My wife, Emily, and I had built a life together, 3 kids, countless memories, and a partnership I believed was unbreakable. But the cracks started to show months before it all fell apart. Emily started working late. There were hushed phone calls she'd end the moment I walked into the room. A new perfume I didn't recognize. Weekend retreats that never seemed to show up on her company's calendar. All the signs were there. I just chose not to see them. The breaking point came at her company's annual gala. I dressed up, bought her a blue topaz bracelet she'd been admiring, and truly hoped the night would reconnect us. For the first hour, it felt like it might. She looked stunning, and she smiled at me with that old, warm smile I missed so much. Then we met Nathan. He was tall, confident, wearing an expensive suit, the kind of guy who just coasts through life. He shook my hand and said, "Emily talks about you all the time." Something in his tone made my stomach tighten, but it was the way Emily stepped just a little closer to him that told me everything. His words didn't. Throughout the night, I watched them. Fingers would brush. They'd share whispered jokes, and their glances lingered just a second too long. When it was time for dinner, Emily sat with the executives, including Nathan, while I was placed at a table with the other spouses from across the room. I watched her laugh at something he said, her hand resting on his forearm. The moment that shattered everything came later. Emily disappeared. Her phone went straight to voicemail. A colleague casually mentioned seeing her leave with Nathan to discuss a project. It was almost 11 at night. My chest felt tight. I searched the lobby, the hallways, the terraces, nothing. Then I heard it. Her laugh. That soft, familiar laugh I hadn't heard directed at me in months. I followed the sound into the dimly lit parking lot. And there they were. Emily was pressed against Nathan's car, his hand in her hair, her hand on his chest. They weren't kissing, but the intimacy said more than any kiss ever could. My world went silent. I didn't shout. I didn't confront them. I just turned around, walked back into the ballroom, and waited. An hour later, she appeared beside me, acting like nothing had happened. "Ready to go home?" she asked. I nodded. But inside, I knew everything was about to change. The next day, I started my investigation. Not for revenge, but for my kids. I couldn't let emotion cloud my judgment when my children's futures were at stake. With calm precision, I gathered everything: credit card statements, hotel charges, phone records, and receipts for dinners she never mentioned. I even found a secret credit card she'd opened in her name, with charges from a mountain resort on a weekend she told me she was at a work seminar. I bought a voice-activated recorder and a GPS tracker. One went in her purse, the other under her car. It didn't take long. The recordings captured whispered conversations with Nathan. "I miss you. I'll find a way. It's getting harder to lie." The GPS showed visits to his apartment building, perfectly aligning with her late nights at the office. I met with a divorce attorney, a straightforward, unshakable man named Michael. "With this evidence," he said, "custody will lean heavily in your favor." I wanted primary custody, not to punish Emily, but because she had already abandoned our children emotionally. She'd missed soccer games, recitals, and simple family dinners. The kids noticed. They just didn't know why. The final straw came when the GPS tracker placed her at a cabin in Estes Park with Nathan during what she called a marketing retreat. That Monday morning, I changed the locks. The game was over. When Emily came home that evening, her key didn't work. "What's going on?" she demanded. "We need to talk," I said calmly. Inside, she stood defensively. What is this about? I know everything, I said, about you and Nathan. Her face went pale. What? No, Jackson, listen. I pressed play on my phone. Her own voice filled the room. I miss you too. I'll figure something out. Her knees buckled. I laid out the rest of the evidence: hotel receipts, GPS logs, hidden credit card statements. She broke down. It wasn't supposed to be like this. I'm so sorry. I made a mistake. For months. I said evenly. For months of lies. Tears streamed down her face. What about the kids? She whispered. I'm filing for primary custody. She panicked. You can't do this. They need me. They needed you. I replied, when you were choosing him instead. In court, her lawyer tried to paint me as controlling. Mine simply presented the hard evidence. Then our 17-year-old daughter, Lauren, insisted on speaking. I want to live with my dad. She told the judge. He's the one who's been here for us. Those words broke Emily completely. The judge awarded me primary custody. The house was mine. Weeks later, Nathan left her. Her career fell apart, and her mental health spiraled until she was hospitalized for severe depression. When the kids and I visited, she was a shadow of the woman I once loved. Do you hate me? She whispered. No, I said gently. I'm just healing, one day at a time. She nodded, tears falling. I ruined everything. No, I said softly. You made choices, and now we all live with them. Walking out of that hospital, with my children by my side and a new life ahead, I finally felt something I hadn't felt in years. Peace. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've been through something similar, remember to stay strong. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing.